They said it was just rumors, just videos, just noise. Something that would disappear by tomorrow's algorithm. But lies don't vanish like that. They don't fade quietly. They wait, they linger, and sometimes they follow you for years. Because once a lie is uploaded, it never truly leaves. It gets saved, shared, screenshot, remembered. And no matter how loud the truth is, the lie always arrives first. For V and Jungkook, it didn't start with a headline. It started with thumbnails, with edits, with captions designed to provoke. Small clips taken out of context. Fake narratives packaged as exposure. At first, it looked harmless to outsiders. Another channel, another rumor, another cycle of online gossip. But repetition changes everything. When a lie is told once, it's ignored. When it's told 100 times, it becomes suspicion. Their names began to carry questions they never asked for. Not on stage, not in music, but in comment sections they never read. And the pressure was invisible. Because when you're at the top, people expect you to be untouchable. They think success protects you from damage. They forget that reputation is fragile, no matter how famous you are. Some people asked why they stayed silent. Why not respond immediately? Why not deny everything publicly? But responding to lies can trap you inside them. And silence, when chosen carefully, can be strength. Behind closed doors, something else was happening. Not outrage, not emotional statements, but documentation. Every upload archived. Every misleading edit recorded. Every false claim preserved exactly as it was. This wasn't about winning public opinion. It was about truth that could stand without applause. The channel kept posting. Clicks kept coming. And the damage kept spreading quietly. What many didn't realize was this. The internet moves fast. But the law moves slowly and deliberately. When the case reached court, the noise stopped mattering. No thumbnails, no dramatic titles. Only evidence. Suddenly, the narrative changed. From speculation to accountability. The court didn't ask how viral the videos were. It asked whether they were true. And that question changed everything. The first ruling confirmed what fans already knew, but critics doubted. These were not opinions. They were fabrications. Still, the story wasn't over. Because legal battles don't end cleanly. There is always an appeal. Always uncertainty. And waiting can be heavier than conflict. Waiting forces you to relive everything in silence. Then came the final decision. 186 million in damages. Not a symbolic number. Not a headline-friendly gesture. But a clear statement from the court. That these videos caused real harm. That anonymity does not erase responsibility. That fame does not mean consent to defamation. This moment wasn't loud. There was no celebration. No victory speech. But its impact was deep. Because this wasn't just about V and Jungkook. It was about every artist who has been reduced to content. Every public figure treated as disposable. Every lie justified as entertainment. The verdict changed the balance. It reminded creators that views are not immunity. That freedom of expression does not include the freedom to destroy. The lies didn't last forever. But the message will. That truth, even when delayed, still arrives. That silence is not weakness. And that justice doesn't need to go viral to matter. In the end, the internet moved on. As it always does. But somewhere between uploads and verdicts, something shifted. And for the first time in a long while, the truth didn't chase the lie. The lie stood still. And the truth caught up. But the story doesn't really end at the verdict. Because court decisions don't just close cases. They open reflections. After the ruling, reactions split instantly. Some called it overdue. Some said it was too late. Others tried to minimize it. Just money. Just another lawsuit. But those words miss the point. This wasn't about how much was paid. It was about what was acknowledged. For years, online spaces rewarded outrage. The more shocking the claim, the faster it spread. Truth moved slowly. Lies traveled at the speed of clicks. And creators learned something dangerous. That consequences were rare. That damage was abstract. That victims were expected to endure. V and Jungkook never positioned themselves as victims. They kept performing, kept creating, kept standing on stage like nothing touched them. But public strength doesn't cancel private weight. Every rumor forces you to explain nothing, while knowing people will believe something. Every false video creates a version of you that you never chose to be. The court didn't rule on emotions. It ruled on actions, on intent, on impact. And that distinction mattered. Because this case wasn't about fans defending idols. It was about evidence defending truth. Quietly, the precedent settled in. Other creators noticed. Other agencies watched closely. The internet for once felt smaller, less untouchable. Some channels deleted old videos. Some reworded titles. Some stopped altogether. Not because they suddenly cared, but because the illusion of safety cracked. And that crack mattered. For V and Jungkook, there was no dramatic closure. No public relief. No visible celebration. But something invisible lifted. Because justice doesn't erase damage. It validates reality. It tells you that what you endured was real. That it mattered enough to be judged. And that matters more than applause. Years from now, this case may be summarized in a sentence. 186 million in damages. But the real weight lives elsewhere. In the reminder that silence can be strategic. That patience can outlast noise. That truth does not need to rush. The lies didn't last forever. They lasted long enough to be exposed. And when they were, they didn't collapse with drama. They ended quietly. In writing. In law. Which is exactly how lies should end. Not with attention, but with accountability. And somewhere beyond the headlines, two artists kept moving forward. Not defined by rumors. Not shaped by false narratives. But grounded in something far stronger. The truth. Still standing. Still intact.